Manchester United and Lyon share the spoils at the Groupama Stadium as it's all to play for at Old Trafford a week today. Manchester United, how do you win at Old Trafford next week? Cut out the defensive mistakes, i.e. put Bayindir in goal. He was the goalkeeper anyway before he got injured. Put him back in goal and make some changes to the spine of that team. Joshua Zirkzee needs to start. We need to start finishing our chances. It's not a coincidence that in the second half, when you got intelligent footballers on the pitch, we started to play better football and we started to look like scoring more often. There was also other opportunities as well. I mean, Bruno Fernandes with a fantastic pass. I think it was with the outside of his foot back to Garnacho that we couldn't finish off. Dorgu, 2 clear-cut chances. I remember him putting across the box. A really good save from their keeper. I think it was a very even game. Lyon gave us a lot to think about, especially in that first half. But ultimately, I do think Manchester United had the most chances. But it's the same old story once again. Defensive errors, individual errors, and then not being able to put the ball in the back of the net. I'm going to go through some individuals, but the first thing I wanted to point out is I want to point out the positives, because I need to think about the positives because I want to get through this tie. I want to win next week and I want to think about the positives of this team. Mazraoui, Bruno Fernandes and Leny Yoro holding this team together. I thought Harry Maguire had a good performance as well. But Mazraoui, his defensive performance tonight was top class. Top class. Leny Yoro driving into that midfield, defensively solid, and then scores a goal on top of it. His first Manchester United goal. No crazy celebrations. We need to win this tie. His attitude screams to me as someone who is mature, composed, and has what it takes to reach the top. He was a great buy, and I'm really, really impressed with his development. He's coming on really well, and we've just interviewed him on the United Stand as well. So go and check that out if you haven't already. But let's talk about the spine of the team. Every team needs a good spine. Manchester United, what have they got? They've got Andre Onana, who has way too many mistakes in him. First one, I don't care what anyone says, you can't be having it bounce like that. You just can't. And then the second one, parries it, spills it. Even if you're going to parry it wide, not straight back into the path. Just single-handedly cost us a comfortable result in that game and a comfortable game at Old Trafford. We're now hanging on the edge. We can still go and win it. We're in a decent position, but Andre Onana just makes it 10 times more difficult. Same thing happened with Real Sociedad. Middle of the park, Casemiro can't cover enough ground. I'm sorry, he can't. And Ugarte is he's not on a good run of form right now. I still think there's a good player in there, and there's people giving up on him. He set up Leny Yoro's goal with a really good assist, actually. So, I'd count on Ugarte, but Casemiro and Ugarte tonight, they're just not at the top level that's required. They're just not. I mean, I'm going to put it bluntly, they're just not. Even though we're playing with a back five and 2 defensive midfielders, their midfield still did dominate the majority of the first half. I think we actually looked better when we dropped Bruno Fernandes into midfield and brought Mason Mount on, and we had a bit more attacking threat in there, intelligent players who can keep the ball. And then our striker, Rasmus Højlund, how he lasted past 45 minutes, I do not know. I feel sorry for him. I don't want to go... It's hard, isn't it? Because you're here to do a job, and analysis and football, criticism is part of it. But I actually feel sorry for him. And the reason I feel sorry for him is because I think he was progressed way too quickly. United was not the move he should have made after Atalanta. He should have stayed there for another year. It just wasn't the move. He feels like he's way out of his depth up there. Confidence is low, don't get me wrong, confidence is low. And when I look at the Rasmus Højlund we had in his first season, and he was even getting criticism then compared to now, I can't even recognise him. He's not even got the bits of his game that we liked. That arrogance, that speed, being able to, control the ball and speed off in behind. Everything he's just gone. He looks like he's had the energy drained out of him, and I feel for him. But I also think Ruben Amorim should have started Joshua Zirkzee after his cameo in the derby. And then he also should have brought Joshua Zirkzee on at half-time. Don't get me wrong, Joshua Zirkzee's no Van Persie. He's no Zlatan Ibrahimovic, but he offers more and he contributes more, and you can see the clear difference. And I think a good spine of the team is so important, and that's where Manchester United are lacking. A goalkeeper, a midfielder and a striker are so important going into this summer transfer window, and you can see it, and it's what makes or breaks the team, and it's continuously letting us down. A top-class goalkeeper and a top-class striker elevates this team. There'll still be weaknesses, but it elevates his team massively. It really does. Our centre-backs are good. They are solid. They are steady. Maguire I trust, Yoro I trust, Mazraoui I trust, De Ligt I trust. The keeper, I do not trust. You go into the midfield and you can't really, like, when you can't nail down a midfield partnership, it's because we don't have anyone who's top class in there. And then, you know, the strikers. I think, thinking ahead to the Newcastle game, I'm not even thinking about it. Newcastle in really good form. They're a very good team. We're away from home. We don't have a good track record at St James's Park. And the Premier League is the Premier League right now. Nothing's going to change. I'm looking to this game, this same fixture, because it is a 2-2 draw at this moment in time. And at Old Trafford, we have to go out there and we have to win it. We have to make our wrongs right. And we've got to put intelligent footballs on the pitch that can move the ball around quickly. It's no coincidence. Kobbie Mainoo. By the way, I just want to give a big shout out to Kobbie Mainoo because he looks like he's done some serious work off the pitch while he's been recovering from injury. He looks physically in top shape and he looks like he's back and he means business. That header was fantastic. The bravery, what an impact he made back into the team. And that's how Joshua Zirkzee gets that goal. Brilliant pass from Bruno Fernandes, unselfish pass. And Joshua Zirkzee spoke to us after the game and mentioned how he'd been working on that header all week, and that's why he goes like this and points to the bench. And you can see more about Joshua Zirkzee's answer in the United Stand interview because he did explain it better in that. But his commitment, Lenny Yoro spoke about his commitment, and the way he just, you know, he sees the right pass, he links up the play. I saw him multiple times hold off centre backs and just have the ball and pass it off. It's not groundbreaking stuff, but you can see the difference. Even in the box, like when he scores that header, Højlund's getting nowhere near that. Like he manages to get up above it, and Joshua Zirkzee's got to start. Mainoo, the intelligence, Mason Mount. It's even like him going shoving a player, showing that he gives one. Like we've missed that passion. And again, intelligence, simple, but sometimes people don't appreciate the simple stuff. Give and go, give and go, give and go. And you can see when players feel comfortable giving it. Bruno Fernandes always feels comfortable giving it to Mason Mount. And you can see Bruno Fernandes is, you know, you look at what the PSG team are doing to Aston Villa last night, and you look at our attacking options. Bruno deserves to be playing with better attacking options with the amount he creates and how good he is. But you see when Mount comes on the pitch, he feels more comfortable to give him the ball. Same with Kobbie Mainoo as well. And look, it's looking slim up there. It's looking slim. But we've got to make these adjustments. We've got to make these changes. I was happy to actually see Garnacho substituted. And I didn't think he was going to be because he's our only player that actually, you know, has that pace and can get him behind. But if the decision every time, not every time, but near enough every time is wrong, where's that going to get you? And I'm glad Ruben Amorim this time made the decision to take him off and replace him with other players. And it worked in our favour because we did go and score that goal. So I think this time next week, I wouldn't be starting Garnacho. I would be starting, you know, them players who have come on and made an impact and shown, you know, they've got some technical ability to him. Like, they know how to move the ball around. That's what we need to do. That's massively what we need to do. And I think if Manchester United do the right things, we put Bayindir in goal, so we have a keeper that's, I mean, you're never 100%, but less likely to make errors. And you have players that have that intelligence in the final third, would be a much better team. And I can see us going ahead and winning it. I'm predicting it now. I do think we will win this at Old Trafford. But we just made it more difficult for ourselves than we actually needed it to be. And Ruben Amorim needs to get his team selections right and learn from this. And I think his substitutions today actually made a really good impact on the game. They were a little bit late, but they made a really good impact. I wasn't very happy with his starting 11, but we changed it in the game. And if it wasn't for them defensive errors by Onana, we would have been comfortable sailing into that Old Trafford tie. But even, you know, you can talk about Onana. Our attackers have to do better as well, of course. But look, everyone, get your comments in down below. My man of the match, oh, it's tough. It's either Mazraoui or Yoro. I'm going to give it Yoro for the goal, but I thought Mazraoui was absolutely superb. Made some brilliant tackles, some brilliant blocks. What did you make of Ryan Cherky, by the way? I know he got that goal. He didn't massively stand out to me. Good player. I thought all of the Lyon players looked technically good, like the league and is headed in that direction. But Lenny Yoro for the goal, and I thought his overall performance was overshadowed by a really, really poor performance by Andre Onana. Really, really poor. You cannot go and talk the talk if you can't walk the walk. You just can't. And it's embarrassing for Manchester United fans as well. But look, hopefully in the next fixture, we can do the business, we can learn from these mistakes, and at Old Trafford, we can get through into the semi-final and bring the Europa League trophy where it deserves, Old Trafford, Champions League football next season, and we can actually get some players in to improve on what I think is something that Ruben Amorim is building here. I think he's building something, and I think I can see differences in our play. We just need better quality. But get your comments in down below. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us in Lyon. Thank you for all your comments. Subscribe to the channel, hit a massive like on the video, and I will see you on the next one.